2026 is approaching its climax, and there's so many great films that have already come out or are possibly coming out to praise. But my two favorites would be considered strange by the average moviegoer standards. Neither of them are big American Hollywood films. One is a Canadian film, and the other is a Japanese special effects extravaganza. Both of these films being Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, and Taroman Expo Explosion respectively. Despite the literal ocean of differences in their productions, my stupid brain has found some commonalities between these two excellent films, and I'd like to talk about those similarities while recommending them. Full disclosure, there is no official or even fan-made English subtitles for Taroman Expo Explosion at the time of this video's creation. I had to Google translate a Japanese subtitle file to even get some comprehension of the dialogue in the film, which is why I'm not delving into a full analysis of the movie quite yet, and instead doing this semi-editorial piece to get all those hype feelings out of my system. Same goes with Nirvana the band, the show, the movie. I want to do a full retrospective on that mini franchise at some point in the future, so this is just a fun method to talk about it in a unique way from that. Well, first things first, the obvious, both of these films are show tie-ins that you can watch without having watched the original source material and have a great time, but have an even better time if you watch the original source material beforehand, as both movies serve as continuations of the thematic ideas and running gags found in the original show. Both of them also tackle genre parodies that serve a bigger story, with Nirvana the movie going for a Back to the Future time travel spoof. Meanwhile, Expo Explosion celebrates the return of the World Expo to Osaka, Japan in 2025 since the 1970s with their own time travel, but instead of going to the past of 2008, our 1970s Showa era cast of characters go to the far future of 2025. That's another funny similarity between this duo of films. Both of them mention 2025 so heavily in their plots, but are ultimately being seen by most people in 2026 due to film festival and regional release shenanigans. On the surface, both of these films are silly and strange, but if you follow along with the absurdity, you'll find hard-hitting emotions and depth in both. Matt Johnson, the director and one of the co-leads of Nirvana the band, the show, the movie, said he wanted the characters to take their predicaments very seriously despite the silly scenarios they find themselves in, and that works so well when Matt and Jay's friendship is being put to the emotional test throughout the story. Taroman Expo Explosion is also bleeding with its own form of earnest sincerity in the absurd, which is at the core of Taroman as a franchise, as it's based on the actual art philosophies and works of real-life human artist Taro Okamoto through the lens of Showa-era Ultraman. I've come to realize those kinds of stories are some of my favorite in media, as one day when I was showing my friend the Taroman TV show, there was a scene that made me go, I am laughing so hard and I'm emotionally moved by this scene at the same time, which my friend said was very on brand for the kinds of stories I usually enjoy. I kept thinking about that comment, and seeing these two films on the top of my 2026 ranking made me realize she was right. I love the absurd. I want to embrace the absurd, but I don't want to be ironic about absurdity. I want to be genuinely silly and earnest in the absurd ways I do things. Even if everyone thinks I'm silly, I want to be kinda serious about how I do my silly things. Ultimately, Taroman Expo Explosion and Nirvana the band, the show, the movie aren't just movie versions of series I already love, they're expansions on those series and testaments to what make both of them so great on a little bit of a larger scale. That's another thing, both of these films aren't that expensive to make. There's still a lot of impressive craft and production value behind both of them, but there's a sense of DIY energy and spontaneity to both of these films that I always appreciate in media. I could do a whole other video on micro-budget backyard filmmaking films, but I'll do that later. So for now, if you want to check out either of these projects, Nirvana the band, the show, the movie is available wherever digital movies are sold, and they just put the original show back on Hulu, while you're gonna need to search around to find the original Taroman show to prepare for whenever Expo Explosion gets properly subtitled by humans. Both of these films are hilarious, heartwarming, and wonderful watches that I hope you love even a quarter as much as I do.